Hey guys, welcome back to Yoga with Leona, your site for everything about yoga in breast cancer recovery. I'm excited to practice with you today. Today, I'm coming to you with one of our more vigorous yoga practices for that time when you've been doing the Y for C practices or the chair assisted practices, and you're feeling totally fine with all of that mobility, and you're able to put some weight into your arms. So that's important. This practice is going to have some traditional sun salutations. I'm going to show you how to do them on blocks, but it really does require you to be able to have a little bit of weight into your arms. So make sure that all of that feels fine before you decide to commit to this practice. But as always, just listen to your own body, modify as you need, skip anything that doesn't feel good, right? And so that actually brings me to the theme for today's practice, which is about really learning to tap into and listen to your own inner wisdom. So I'm going to give you this lovely quote from a famous yoga teacher named Desi Kachar, who says, "Yoga, unlike dance or mime, is not an expression of form for others to watch." So the point is, it doesn't really matter what it looks like on the outside. It doesn't matter exactly what the shape of your yoga postures looks like. What matters is what you feel on the inside as you're practicing. So it's so important to really turn that awareness inward, to pay attention to how your body feels as you move and breathe. And I'm going to give you a guide for how to put your body into different shapes that will achieve the stretching and strengthening that we're going for. But the very most important thing is that you pay attention to your own inner wisdom and your own inner sense of how you might need to adjust the pose for yourself, right? So, such an important practice for us, especially as cancer survivors, as we're healing and recovering from surgery. Sometimes things feel a little bit weird or numb even. So yoga is such an amazing practice at helping us take the time to reconnect to ourselves, to rediscover our connection and our trust with our own inner sensation and our own inner wisdom. All right. So that all being said, let's go ahead and get started. I do have 2 yoga blocks for practice today, but you don't need them at all. If you're able to put weight into your arms on the floor, that's fine. I'm just going to show you how to do it with blocks in case stepping forward and back is still a little bit of a challenge for you. So I'll demonstrate it with the blocks and without. All right, so that all being said, let's go ahead and find a comfortable seat and arrive to this space. Maybe take 1 or 2 deep breaths to just allow yourself to arrive, to let go of anything that you were doing before this or anything that you're planning to do after. Setting this intention for a little time to connect to yourself, to your own body, and your own breath. And as you do that, let's start to feel our breath deepen. So shifting into a little bit of equal breathing. So feeling a little deeper inhale as the diaphragm moves down, belly maybe pushes out. And a little fuller exhale as the belly pulls in, diaphragm moves up, emptying the lungs. So breathing at your own pace, perhaps counting a count of 4 or 6 on each inhale, matched by an equal count of 4 or 6 on the exhale. And just go ahead here in the breathing and go ahead and start tuning in to the sensations of your body. So as you breathe and you begin to deepen the breath, notice if you have any tension that starts to build in your shoulders, and maybe you scrunch those shoulders up into your ears to try to get a deep breath. See if you can relax them and breathe deeply while still feeling relaxed in your body. Let's take 3 more breaths like this. All right, very good. And then let's flutter our eyes open and we will get ready to start with our spine warm up. So we're going to roll over onto our hands and knees for sort of my favorite sequence in spine warm up these days, coming into a tabletop. And remember, you can feel free to pad under your knees with a folded blanket or towel if that's better for you. And we'll have our wrists just under our shoulders and knees under our hips. And let's start by just warming up our wrists a little. So I like to kind of shift my weight around in a circular motion, starting to stretch those wrists and get them ready to have some weight into the hands during our practice. And then I like to turn my hands out to the sides of my mat and take similar sorts of circles. You might feel a little stretch through your forearms and wrists. Be sure to reverse directions and get an equal stretch in both ways. Good, and then I like to put a very little bit of gentle pressure onto the tops of my hands, stretching them in that opposite direction, but be gentle with that one. Good. And then we'll come back to our tabletop and let's start with a little cat-cow. So you know it. On an inhale, belly sinks down, head comes up, arch your back. On an exhale, push your spine up to the sky, head drops down, shoulder blades spread. Keep going. Inhale, belly down, shoulder blades kiss. Exhale, push it up to the sky, stretching your spine forward and back. So take a few more of those on your own time. Just feeling your whole spine bending forward and back. Getting ourselves warmed up and ready for the practice. Good. All right, now let's spin on our right knee. The right hand will be in the floor or on a block, and the left leg goes long to the back of the mat, left arm all the way up and over your head. Now, remember, you adjust the shape of this arm in any way that you need to if that's the tight side of your chest. And then we take big circles with that top arm, opening the chest, stretching chest and shoulder, but adjust in any way you need. Never stretching to pain, just stretching as deeply as feels comfortable to you. Good. Now stretch that arm long above your head, and we're going to lift up the leg and take the arm toward the leg, and then stretch it back, long foot down, arm up. Inhale, pick it up. Exhale, put it down. 3 more like that. So starting to turn on a little heat, building some strength in the side body, and stretching arm at the same time. Good. Now, this is one of my new favorite core strengthening exercises. We're going to put our hand behind our head, lift up the foot, then put the foot down and really feel some stability in that back foot, and then press into your right hand that's in the floor or the block and bring the the right knee toward your left elbow, and then put it down, extend, lift the foot up, put it down, knee toward elbow, and down, lift it up. Let's do one more here. Awesome core strengthening here. Good. Stretch up one more time and come back to the center. Good. Now let's do the other side. So spin on your left knee, right leg long to the back. This time I'll show it with my hand in the floor. So right arm stretches all the way up, and you adjust the shape as you need, and then take some big circles with that top arm. Maybe the arm even goes behind you for some extra stretch through your pec. But remember, be kind to your body and just stretch as far as feels okay. Good. Now, right arm stretches all the way long above your head, and then we pick up the foot and the arm at the same time, and then stretch long. Pick it up. Put it down. Pick it up. Put it down. 2 more. Feel some warmth starting to build in your body. Good. Now here comes that core strengthening. Hand behind the head, lift the foot up, put the foot down, and then press into the left hand that's in the floor as you lift knee toward elbow. And then back, leg comes up, put it down, knee toward elbow. One more time. Good. So good for your core. Stretch it long and come back to the center. All right, good. Let's sink back for a little child's pose here. So knees go wide, sink your hips back, shift it side to side. Feel that low back stretch. Maybe hips begin to wake up. Ooh, yeah. So feel a little heat building in your body already. Good. And then come back to a tabletop. Let's take a little twist, and then we'll be ready for some sun salutations. So first, right arm stretches up. Slide that right arm under the left. The right shoulder comes to the floor. And adjust the left hand in any way you need. The point here is to feel a juicy twist of your spine. But remember, you're not quite warmed up yet, so be gentle. Good. Come back to center. And we'll take the other side. Left arm stretches up. Slides under the right left shoulder to the mat. Adjust the right arm as you like. Some people like to put that top arm around your back. You can take whatever shape feels best to you. All right, very nice. Come back to center and let's sit back onto our heels. All right, good. Feeling a little bit warmed up, just kind of observe how your body's feeling in this moment. And then we'll start with some sun salutations. So this one's called I call it a kneeling sun salutation. Some people call it a moon salutation. So we are going to inhale, rise up onto your knees, take a little back bend at the top. Exhale, fold forward into child's pose. Inhale to your hands and knees for a cow, belly down, head up. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Knees down, another cow, inhale. Exhale, sit it back, child's pose. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms above your head, a little back bend. And exhale, have a seat. Good, that's one round. Let's do two more. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale for a cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Knees down, cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, have a seat. One more time. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Knees down, cow. Exhale, sit it back. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, have a seat. All right, very good. Let's come on up to the top of our mat and keep warming up. So we are going to take a couple of sets of sun salutation A, or Surya Namaskar A, the regular way. And I'm going to show that to you with the blocks, just so that you see the option. And then we're going to add a couple of things. We'll add a little stretching through our legs once we do a couple regular way. So if you want to use blocks, put them on their flat surface so that we can put our hands onto them. If you're not using the blocks, totally fine. Sun salutation A. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Remember, bend your knees as much as you need. Plant your hands. Inhale, lengthen your spine, head up just slightly. And then on an exhale, we're going to walk ourselves back into a plank. So big, strong plank here. You can either stay here or you can swing forward with straight arms, letting your hips hang down, upward facing dog. Or you can take chaturanga. If you've got the strength in your arms, elbows come back, chest forward, collarbones broad, and then shift up into upward facing dog. And then we all meet in downward facing dog. We'll take 3 breaths here, and you can walk it out a little, maybe warming up your calves and stretching, remembering that it's not about straightening the legs and plugging those heels in. You can bend the knees however much you want. And then look to the front, and this is the main reason we have the blocks. Bend your knees and just step forward. The blocks help us step forward more easily. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale, come all the way up with a nice flat back. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. One more like that. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands. Inhale, head up. Exhale, walk it back to a plank. Stay here. Swing through with straight arms or lower down. And if you're just learning chaturanga, you can do a miniature chaturanga and just lower down slightly. And then swing through upward facing dog, pull belly up and in, downward facing dog. Good. Breathe here. And then look to the front. Bend your knees. Step it forward. Lengthen your spine. Fold forward. And then rise all the way to the top. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Stop and breathe. So you should feel some heat starting to build. Remember that if you're working on chaturanga and you haven't quite got it figured out yet, there is a tutorial on that that kind of goes through the details of it that'll help you and gives you some prep to build the strength to do it. So check that out if you're still working on chaturanga. I'm going to go ahead and remove my blocks, but feel free to keep them there if you want to keep them there. Now, we're going to do 3 more sets of sun salutation A, but we're going to add stepping forward into a low lunge to help us start to stretch our legs and hips. I'll show it to you. Let's go together. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Remember, bend your knees as much as you need. Inhale, head up. Exhale, walk back to your plank. And then swing through with straight arms to up dog or chaturanga through upward facing dog and then downward facing dog. Now we're going to step our right foot in between our hands, put the back knee down and inhale, arms up to a low lunge. And then put your hands on the floor, step back to downward facing dog. And take the left foot forward, back knee down, inhale up for a low lunge. And then hands to the floor, downward facing dog, 3 breaths here. Now that stepping forward and back can be a challenge for some people, so that's a great place to use those blocks under your hands to just give you a little more space. Good. Now look to the front, bend your knees, walk or jump forward, lengthen your spine, fold forward, inhale, rise up, exhale to your heart. All right, 2 more of these. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, forward fold, inhale, head up, exhale, make your way back, transitioning your way here. So you can do the chaturanga or you can skip it and just go straight to downward facing dog. And then the right foot steps forward, back knee down, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, back knee down, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Observe your body and just notice what's happening with your breath, with your heart rate, with the temperature in your body. And then look to the front. Bend your knees. Walk or jump forward. Lengthen your spine. Fold forward. And inhale, come up. Exhale to your heart. All right, one more set. You got it. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, head up. Walk yourself back. Transition your way. And then downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward. Inhale, stretch them up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward. Inhale, stretch them up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. 3 breaths here. And then look to the front. Bend your knees. Walk or jump. Lengthen your spine. Fold forward. And inhale, rise up. Exhale your hands to your heart and stop and breathe. All right. If you're feeling warm, you're feeling your heart rate picked up and your breath picked up, that's good. That's what it's supposed to do. Sun salutations are meant to get us warm and ready for the rest of the practice. Let's take 1 or 2 more breaths here. I like to press my thumbs into my heart and just connect to my own heartbeat. All right, let's keep going. We're going to do 2 standing sequences, 1 on each side. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, head up. Exhale, make your way back. You can take the transition here if you want it, or skip it and go straight to downward facing dog. And then we're going to step our right foot forward and come up into warrior 1. So you may remember warrior 1 means hips squared to the front, back toes are out at just 20 degrees, and our feet are on railroad tracks, so not on a tight wire. That gives us a little space for our hips. The front knee is bent and just about over the ankle. The back leg is trying to be straight, and we stop and breathe. Good. Now let's bring our arms into a cactus, and we're going to take my favorite cactus breaths. Inhale to open your chest, stretching the pecs. Exhale to close, pull your belly back and in. 4 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. 3 more on your own. This is a lovely lymphatic pumping sort of movement as we coordinate this movement with our breath. So good for us. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now we're going to straighten the front leg, reach the arms up, and then come forward so slowly with a nice flat back. So you're reaching forward, engaging your back muscles, and then bringing your hands either to your blocks or to the floor. So you could have them like this if that helps you. Or if you can reach the floor, you can stretch all the way down. The front leg doesn't have to be completely straight here. It's fine if it's bent. If you've got a tight hamstring or something, no big deal. But let's inhale to lengthen our spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Good. Now lengthen your spine. Plant your left hand either on the floor or on your block and twist your body to the right. So your right hand might come to your hip or all the way to the sky. Your choice. Breathing here in a revolved pyramid shape. Good. Come back to the front. Bend that front knee Lengthen your spine and inhale back up to warrior one. Now let's interlace our hands behind our back. Another one of my favorite chest stretches. Interlace those hands, roll the shoulders open, and if you can bring the arms straight with the palms touching, that's great. If it doesn't quite get there, no big deal. It'll stretch with time. And then we're going to lengthen our spine and fold forward, coming up toward the front left corner of the mat. This is humble warrior. If you need, you might have to widen your stance a little. You'll see I had to do that. Folding as far down as feels comfortable and breathing. Good. Then release your hands to the mat. Put your back knee down. We're coming to that low lunge again, kind of like we did in our sun salutations. And again, you might need to settle your feet. You don't want this front knee to go a mile in front of the front ankle. A little bit's okay, but not way far in front. So if you need to scooch that foot forward to allow you to sink in, that's good. And we'll inhale our arms to the sky, feeling the spine stretching up and out of the pelvis even as we sink forward. Good. Now, if you've got blocks, you might grab those, push them back toward your hips, and sink back for half Hanuman. If you don't need the blocks, you can put your hands on the floor here, but we're straightening this front leg to work on those muscles on the back of the right leg. Using blocks or not, your choice. And then sink forward. Plant the weight in your left foot, right foot, left hand in the mat, and twist your body to the right. You can stay right here, or if it feels okay, you can bend that back leg and reach back for the foot. Be mindful of that back knee, making sure nothing ever feels strained or uncomfortable. Breathe. Now, if you've got that back foot, release it very slowly. Plant your hands and let it go. You can take a transition here if you want one, or you can just go straight to downward facing dog. Ooh, take a breath or two. And we'll do the other side. So step your left foot forward. We're coming to warrior one. So remember, again, hips square to the front, back toes out at 20 degrees, front knee bent, and breathe. Good. Cactus breaths. Arms into a big, strong saguaro. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, close. 4 more on your own. Connecting to your own breath and your own body as you move. 1 more here. Good. Now, straighten the front leg, reach to the sky. Reach forward, engaging your back muscles as you fold down. And then grab your blocks or the floor, bending the front knee as much as you need, but eventually trying to work towards straightening it to stretch the back of that front leg. Lengthen spine, and then fold. Good, and then lengthen spine. Plant your right hand in the mat or on a block and twist to your left. Remember, top hand can go to your hip or to the sky, and breathe. Good, back to the front. Bend the front knee, lengthen your spine, and come back up to warrior one. And then we interlace those hands behind our back again. Roll your chest open. Adjust the feet as you need and lean to the upper right corner of your mat. coming as far forward as feels okay. Maybe you go all the way down. Do whatever feels comfortable and like a delicious stretch to you. Always making sure that you can maintain your calm breath. If your breath starts to get away from you, you might need to back off a little bit. Good. Release your hands to the mat and put your back knee down. And we'll find that low lunge shape. Remember, adjust the feet as you need, and then inhale the arms up. Stretch up and out of your hips as the hips sink forward. Now hands to the mat. You can grab your blocks if you need them. Sink it back, straighten the front leg for half Hanuman. Peeling those front toes back toward you if you can to stretch a little more through the calf. You might feel it more in your hamstring. Breathe. Good. And then shift weight into that left foot. Plant the right hand and twist to your left. You can stay right here and breathe, or pick up that back foot, opening the chest. And you're opening, you'll feel it if you're picking up that back foot, opening that right quad and hip flexor a little bit more deeply. Breathe. All right, if you've got the foot, release it very slowly and cautiously. Plant your hands. Take a transition if you want one. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. All right, let's put our knees down and rest a moment. So take a little child's pose here. Maybe shifting side to side, checking in with your breath. See how that's feeling. Tuning in and knowing to take a break anytime that you need one. All right, and then let's come back to downward facing dog. We're going to do one more standing sequence on each side. So from downward facing dog, step the right foot in between your hands, and we're going to come this time up for a high lunge. So in a high lunge, the back heel is up instead of down like in Warrior One. Our hips are square to the front, and our front knee is just above the ankle. Now, this time we're going to take some movement with our breathing and challenge our balance a little. So on an inhale, you're going to stretch up, straighten the front leg. And on an exhale, you're going to twist your body to the right, arms come into a T. Inhale, reach for the sky. Feel your 2 feet so solid in the floor. Exhale, bend the front knee, twist to your right. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, twist and bend. 2 more on your own. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to the top. Stretch up and reach forward just like we did in the first sequence, engaging those back muscles. Hands to the floor. We're in a pyramid, but our back foot is like in a high-heeled shoe. So a slightly different variation on pyramid. Breathing. And then we put that back knee down on the floor, and we're going to come to another low lunge. So we're going to inhale up to the sky, but this time let's pull those arms down and back into that cactus shape again. So really feel the shoulder blades pulling together on your back, stretching and opening that front side of your chest. But remember, if that's your surgical area and you've got tightness, you just stretch as far as feels comfortable. A good stretch, but never ever pain. Very good. Now plant your hands, tuck the back toe, stretch the right leg to the sky, for a three-legged dog, and then open that right hip, letting the top foot dangle up and over. I like to take some turns of my right ankle here. Good. Take a breath. And then square your hips, come back to downward facing dog. And then we're going to shift our body into a right side plank. So option number one is to go ahead and put the right knee on the floor, shift your weight into your right arm, and stretch the left arm up. If you've done this a little bit and you know a side plank, you can extend your whole body all the way up, pushing your hips up to the sky, breathing here, whatever side plank you've taken, and then plant both hands and let it go. Take a transition if you want one, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Now remember, always, always listen to your body. If it's too much weight in the arms, you just skip the side plank or you take the less vigorous option. Listen to your body. Here we go. Last side. Left foot steps forward, high lunge, back heel is up, front knee bent, breathe. Yeah, tune into your breath. Notice if it's getting away from you. Do what you need to do to bring yourself back to balance. And then here we go. Inhale, reach up, straighten the front leg. Exhale, twist your body to the left, bend the front knee. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend and twist. 3 more on your own. Feel yourself balancing in the middle of this movement and effort. You're so stable, adaptable, and resilient, building those each time you get on your mat. Inhale, back to the top, reach up and stretch forward, engaging the back muscles, coming slowly, slowly down to your high-heeled pyramid. Breathe and rest here. And then when you're ready, put that back knee on the floor, a little low lunge. Settle your knee and your front foot, and then breathe those arms up. And exhale into your big cactus arms. Chest shining forward and up. Maybe you even gaze to the sky. Gorgeous. Plant your hands, tuck the back toe, stretch that left leg up for your three-legged dog, and then open the hip. Let that top foot dangle up and over a turn or two of that top ankle. And then square your hips to downward facing dog. And we're coming into that left side plank. So option number one, left knee in the floor, left hand in the floor, right arm to the sky. Or option number two, step it all the way back, big side plank. So vigorous, so strong. And then plant both hands and let it go. Good. From downward facing dog, let's walk our feet forward and just let your body hang here a moment. Maybe wag your tail. Find your breath after those vigorous standing poses. And when you're ready, look to the front and inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Take a couple more deep breaths here. Feel the breath begin to slow and relax. So we're training our bodies and training our minds, right? Training ourselves from deep inside to handle a stressor, right? Whether it's a physical stressor or mental or emotional stressor, to handle it as calmly as possible, and then to quickly come back to relaxation when we're able. So each time we do these vigorous poses, we're giving ourselves a little challenge. We're staying as calm as we can with our breath, and then we quickly come back to relaxation. So that the next time something unexpected and stressful happens, we'll be better equipped to handle it. All right, so you may have noticed that we did a bunch of stretching of our hip flexors and our hamstrings, and we did that on purpose because we're going to take my favorite balancing pose today, dancer pose or Natarajasana. So if you're new to dancer, we're going to step our weight into our left foot, and the first thing we're going to do is try our balance by lifting up the right foot. Now, you're going to grab, if it's available to you, you're going to grab the right foot either from the outside here or opening the hand and grabbing the ankle from the inside. This allows a little deeper stretch. If you grab the foot from the inside, it allows your chest to open more deeply, but either way is fine. Now, first we find our balance. We try to bring the knees toward one another, so snugging that right knee in toward the left instead of letting it be all hanging out to the side. And then if our balance is okay, we stretch the left arm up, and then we reach up and reach gently forward as we kick the right leg back. So maybe you just work on your balance and you don't kick too far at all. Or if you're doing okay, you gaze at one point, you reach and kick as you come further forward, a standing back bend on one leg, kicking and reaching, eventually maybe kicking all the way up. Breathe here. One more breath, kick, and then let it go. Good. And if you fall out of that 6 times, in the space of 8 or 10 breaths, don't worry about it. That's how our bodies learn, right? So every time we wobble, every time we fall out and we get back in, that's how our body learns to hold the balance. And so next time it'll be a little better. All right, let's do the other side. So step the weight into the right foot, feel the balance, feel the stability in the standing foot, pick up your left foot, either from the outside or open the hand and pick it up from the inside. Find the balance. I find it really helpful to imagine pulling up my pelvic floor. Stretch the right arm to the sky, and then reach up as you lean gently forward, reaching forward with the top hand, kicking back with the left foot. Find your depth and breathe. Gazing at one point to balance. Maybe you kick and stretch a little further. One more breath, kick, and then let it go. Woo! All right, guys. Awesome job. And remember, it's all about practice. So, if your balance is not so good or you're feeling kind of spent, all we have to do is slowly work, and our bodies will eventually learn. They'll eventually build the strength. So just be patient with yourself. You've been through a lot. Your body's healing. It needs, time to get back, but you can do it. So just keep working at it. All right, let's make our way to a seat. So first, we're going to just have a seat, whatever kind of seat feels good to you. Some people like to sit on a block or a folded blanket, and that's fine for this first thing we're going to do. You can take whatever seat feels good and just breathe a moment. Maybe give yourself a little love for getting on your mat, for working through these really vigorous and challenging poses. You're putting a lot of effort and investment into healing and recovering, and that's so important for us. But also so important, right, to pay attention to those boundaries, to knowing when we need to rest or back off. And when, on the other hand, we're great and we're ready to push and do a little bit more. All right, let's stretch our arms and shoulders just a little bit more. So let's bring our arms all the way out to the sides and the thumbs are pointing up. This is what I call Gomukhasana arm flow. So we're not going to do the legs that usually go with Gomukhasana. We're just going to flow our arms in and out. So first, turn your left thumb down, and then the right arm's going to come up and behind the head as the left arm goes down and behind your back. Your hands are reaching toward one another, but they may not touch. And then we take the arms back out to the sides, both thumbs up. Turn the right thumb down and go the other way. So we're working on shoulder range of motion here. And then you're just going to flow back and forth. So take it on your own breath, taking first one hand behind the head and then the other. And you might notice if one side feels really different than the other. That's pretty probable for those of us who've had breast cancer surgery, that one side of your chest and shoulders can be different than the other. It's fine. This helps us by stretching on both sides. This helps us come toward balance as close as we can. Make sure your spine is staying nice and straight. We have a tendency to kind of hunch in this one, so stay nice and straight, even if that allows the arms to get a little less deep into the stretch. Keep that spine nice and straight. Let's do one more on each side. And as you're doing this, notice what you feel. So observe if you feel some energy and some strength in those arms and shoulders. It's a lot to take that many switches back and forth. Good. Go ahead and release those arms and breathe. All right, good. Now, if you're on a block, let's go ahead and come off of it, and we're going to take a little wide-legged forward fold. So just stretch your legs as wide as they comfortably stretch. I'm kind of shimmying here off of the muscle in the back of my rear, getting onto those sits bones. So for many of us, we'll be kind of like hunched back in this kind of position. You want to roll up and forward if possible. And if you need to bend your knees to do that, bend your knees to do that. So we want our spine nice and straight, and then we're just going to lean gently forward. Now, if it feels okay, you can slowly straighten the legs. And if your legs get straight, you can lean further forward. But know that this is a deep stretch through your hamstrings, a little bit through the inner thighs. So be mindful and just go as far as feels okay. And then breathe and rest here. Maybe eventually you're able to stretch a little further. That's fine. You take it to your depth. All right, very nice. Then walk it back to the top. Let's put our hands down behind us. Take the feet in front with the feet a little wider than your hips, and we're going to take some hip stag leg switches side to side. So let the knees fall to one side and then go the other way. So it's a little deeper than just the windshield wiper with the legs that we do sometimes just to release the hips. This is to really get into some internal and external rotation of your hips. So take it side to side and observe if there's some asymmetry. One side feels different than the other. Super common. Yeah, good. We're really getting into the hips here. If that's easy for you, then you can bring the arms up and take that same stretch without leaning back. It gets a little deeper. So try that if it feels super easy and comfortable. All right, good. Nice. Okay, let's work into a back bend. So we very often take bridge pose. I like it a lot. It's a delicious back bend, but today we're going to do something different. We're going to take camel pose. So let's come to stand on our knees toward the front of our mat. And if you want to pad your knees with a blanket or fold over the front of your mat to give yourself a little more padding, that might feel nice. And then you're going to put your feet facing directly back behind your knees. The knees are about hips width distance apart. And then I like to put my hands on my hips, kind of like they're sliding into my jeans pockets. And you're going to lift your heart toward the sky, gaze up, and then push those hips forward gently as you imagine that you're stretching up and over a limbo bar to your back. So you don't want to dump into your low back and lean back this way. We want to push our hips forward, stretch up, and then back. And you can go back as far as feels okay, but make sure that you're able to breathe. So it's in our instinct to hold our breath when we bend backwards because it feels uncomfortable. Try not to do that. And see if you can allow your body to relax into the back bend. Good. When you're ready, inhale, come up to the top, and we're going to have a seat and just rest a moment. Good. I like to take some little rotational movement of my spine and my hips here in between sets. We'll do one more set of camel. All right, good. Now, second set, I'm going to show you the option of reaching back toward your heels, or I'll show it to you with some blocks too. So if the first version of camel felt fine, we can see about going a little deeper. So if you want to try it with blocks, you can put your blocks about where your feet are. We're going to start with our hands on our hips again. Lengthen the spine, heart to the sky, hips sink forward. And the first option is to reach back and find your blocks. So it's just allowing you to get a little deeper into the back bend. You're still pushing hips forward and heart to the sky, but you're reaching back a little more than the hips. The next option, if that feels fine, is to reach for your heels. And you might notice that to get the heels, you have to let your hips fall back a little bit. That's okay. You just push them forward again once you get hold of the heels. Again, make sure you're breathing and allowing your body to relax into the back bend. Good. When you're ready to come up, hands to your hips, come up, and then relax and have a seat. So you probably noticed we're doing a lot of chest opening in this sequence today. And, you know, obviously for us with scar tissue and tightness on our chest, sometimes that can be challenging. So just remember to be so patient and compassionate with your body. It may take a while before you can reach the hands back like that. That's totally fine. It comes with time. All right. Good. Now, let's take a nice relaxing inversion. I'm going to take a block under my sacrum and just stretch my legs to the sky. If you're like, hey, no, I'm still feeling really vigorous and I want to do something else, feel free to take a minute or so and you can take something more vigorous, but I'm going to show you this one. We'll take a yoga block, or if you don't have a yoga block, you can fold your blanket up nice and tight and slide it under your sacrum. And then we're going to roll those legs up into the sky. So nice, relaxing, supported shoulder stand here. Just to get those feet up into the air. I love to take some circles of my ankles here in this shape and just relax and breathe. This is sort of like legs up the wall, which is another really delicious inversion shape that you can take when your legs are feeling super tired or heavy. So, so good for us. All right. Good. Go ahead and let those feet come down. You'll lift your hips up and remove the block. And we're going to take a little final spinal twist. And then we'll be ready for Savasana. So I'm going to hug my knees into my chest first. Maybe rock side to side once or twice. And then you're going to roll onto your side, all the way onto the side, and stack your two palms one on top of the other. And then on an inhale, you're going to open that top arm all the way up and over like you're opening the cover of a book. And then exhale, close your book. Inhale to open it again. Exhale to close. And then on this third time we open, we're going to settle into a twist. So you might have noticed I kind of picked up my shoulder blades to try to set them both down on the ground to get the best twist. I'm going to use my left hand on top of my right knee to just hold the legs there and allow me to relax into the twist. If it feels okay, you can turn your gaze all the way around to the right. You can stretch that right arm sort of up and to the right, like in a Y shape to get a little better stretch through your chest and breathe. All right, very nice. Let's switch the sides. So coming back through the center, hug the knees into your chest again, and then guide the knees over to the opposite side. Extend the arms in front of you, stack the palms. Inhale to open your chest all the way up and back, opening that book. Exhale to close the book. Two more openings. Close the book. And this last time on the third opening, we'll stay for a little twist. Settle your shoulder blades as you like. Use the right hand on top of the left knee if that helps you. And then gaze over to the left. Adjust that left arm as you see fit. And breathe. So coming toward the end of practice, observe your body starting to come toward relaxation after the vigor of the standing poses and the back bends. Starting to relax. Noticing if you still feel any tension or any gripping and seeing if you can consciously release and relax. All right, beautiful. Let's come back to center. Take any little final movements that feel good to you. Maybe hug the knees in once more or take a little happy baby. And then when you're ready, make your way into Savasana. Finding your most comfortable position on your back for a few minutes of complete rest, complete relaxation of body and mind. So especially for you guys that like the vigorous practices, you're like me, sometimes it's easier to push our bodies and do something vigorous and go and be busy and active. It's actually even more challenging to practice stillness. So please give yourself at least a few minutes in Savasana to just breathe and be. Allow your awareness to land on the breath and just watch as the breath moves in and out, and in and out. Giving your mind and body a little break, a little recess from the busyness of daily life. All right, and as always, if you have time and you want to stay another 5 or even 10 minutes in Savasana, feel free to pause the video or stop the video and stay as long as you like. If you're ready to wake up, you can move your feet and hands and start to stretch your body to wake it up from that short rest. Maybe stretch your arms long above head. Roll onto the side of your choice and take a couple breaths there, throwing yourself a little love and gratitude again for getting on your mat, for committing this time and effort to connecting to your body, to listening to your own inner wisdom. It's really probably one of the best things we can do for ourselves. When you're ready, you can push yourself up and come to a seat. All right. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Thank you for giving yourself this beautiful gift of yoga and mindful movement. Please let me know if you have any requests or if you'd like me to build a practice around a certain pose or things that are a challenge for you. I love taking requests. I'm happy to do it. All right. Have an awesome day.